Good evening. Tonight we are joined by a public servant who, one can argue, has done more for the economy than any other government official, past or present. She is Director General Lilia De Lima of the Philippine Export Zone Authority, or PEZA. DG De Lima has headed PEZA for 19 consecutive years. From a loosened government agency in the Marcos era, formerly known as the Export Processing Zone Authority, or EPZA, DG De Lima has transformed this into the crown jewel of the Philippine investment scene today. PEZA offers an efficient and well-organized environment for foreign firms to do business in. Since 1995, PEZA zones have attracted nearly 2.6 trillion worth of new investments that generated 521 billion in export earnings. Last year alone, PEZA generated some 1.1 million jobs for our kababayan. It has expanded its network of operating economic zones from just 16 in 1994 to 306 today. From being a money pit of government funds, PEZA has become a major contributor to the national treasury, remitting close to 15 billion over the last 19 years. I talked to Director General Lilia De Lima today to find out the trends in foreign investments, exports, and how PEZA intends to stay competitive amid an increasingly competitive scramble for foreign investments in the region. So stay tuned. It's going to be one interesting episode here on the Business Examiner. We are joined today by an icon in Philippine business and government service, Director General Lilia De Lima of the Philippine Export Processing Zone Authority, or PEZA. DG De Lima has single-handedly transformed PEZA from a money-losing government agency in 1994 to the country's strongest driver of foreign direct investments and exports. Welcome, DG De Lima. So glad to have you and honored to have you in our show today.
Likewise, Andrew, thank you very much for inviting me to be here in your show.
Oh, all the pleasure is ours. I know that for the last 9 consecutive years, we have experienced bombastic growth of over 30% in terms of investments. But somehow in 2013, the investments decelerated a little bit. Why is that, ma'am?
Partly because some of our big ticket investors we were talking to, their projects didn't come in at the end of the year.
Yes.
But these were already sure projects,
Right.
except that sometimes it takes, for one reason or another, they were not able to file it by December.
Yes, yes.
So as you notice, as of June this year, we have 27.83% increase of investments year on year.
So, in other words, it's not as if there was a lack of interest or a deceleration of interest. It was just a timing. It was a timing
and
thing.
maybe because also there was a little effect of the Yolanda
Yes,
typhoon.
yes, yes.
But they know that that was very temporary.
Yes.
And sometimes maybe for one reason or another, they're not able to bring it in by the end of the year.
Yes, the Yolanda incident happened in the third quarter. No?
Third
So
quarter,
I think the
yes.
fourth quarter was really affected by that.
Yes.
But nevertheless, ma'am, we're talking about serious money here. 276 billion in investments last year. That's $6.2 billion. Do you think, ma'am, that we will be able to surpass that in 2014?
Yes, our target is 10% increase. But as you know, the universe is already big.
Yes.
But still, our fighting target is still
Yes.
10% on investments.
What would be the incentive or what would be the deciding factor for an investor to set up shop in a PEZA zone as opposed to any other site outside the processing zone?
Well, Andrew, my God, thank you for that question. There are many things. As you know, investors go for incentives.
Of course.
So we have fiscal incentives. Fiscal incentives give or take a little.
Yes.
We are comparable, maybe if not better than our other Asian counterparts.
Yes.
But apart from fiscal incentives, there are non-fiscal incentives. And
Yes.
that's the ease of doing business.
Of course. Of course.
So
And we're talking about the permits, the bureaucracy.
in PEZA, there's no We don't have that in the dictionary. The bureaucratic
tape.
red tape.
Okay.
Because through the years, I think PEZA is lucky that I have headed PEZA for the past 19 years.
Yes.
And through all those years, we have somehow formed that PEZA branded service,
Yes.
which is very customer friendly oriented.
Yes, client-centered.
Client-centered,
Yes.
because in PEZA we don't have clients, we don't have customers,
Right.
only partners.
Only partners.
Only
Okay.
partners. Once you sign up with us, you're considered our partner.
Yeah.
As a partner, we have a stake in your success.
Yes.
Your success is also our success. So in PEZA, our PEZA brand of service consists of one-stop shop. But other agencies, both here and abroad,
Yeah.
also have their own version of one-stop shop. So we upped our quality service by another notch.
By another notch.
Yes,
Okay.
and we had to think of what will make us different from all the others.
Yes.
So we have this non-stop shop. We're not just a one-stop shop,
But
we are a
also-
non-stop shop.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Non-stop shop is very important, especially to the electronics and semicon group.
So when you say non-stop shop, ma'am, are you referring to the timing? Are we open 24/7?
Yes, especially in the zones.
Yes.
PEZA and in the airport and seaports, we render service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including Saturdays, Sundays, holidays, Christmas, New Year, except Good Friday. And most importantly, in PEZA,
Yes.
there's no graft and no corruption.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Absolutely. Or maybe there is.
Okay.
Just let me know and out they
Okay,
go.
Yeah. Okay. Ma'am, for the last 13 years or so, the majority of our investments were from the electronics and semiconductor sector. About 38% of all our investors are from this sector. Are we
Yes.
seeing a diversification now of,
Oh, yes.
of investors?
Yes. In fact, 13, when I started, it's about almost 50% was
Were
electronics and
Electronics and
semicon, yes.
semiconductors.
So it doesn't mean that the electronics and semiconductor sector is declining.
Yes.
It just means that new sectors are coming up,
Right.
like shipbuilding.
Shipbuilding.
Shipbuilding, many people don't know that we are now number 4 in the world in shipbuilding.
Yes.
After
After
Japan,
China, Korea.
China, Korea, Japan.
Japan. Yes.
But the fastest growing sector really is the IT sector.
IT.
Yes. So it's but in PEZA this is still less than 10%.
10% of exports.
Of exports, yes.
Yes.
But the other 10% of investments.
Okay. Of
Yes,
investments.
Of investments. But the other fast growing is manufacturing, of course,
Yes.
and manufacturing that includes electronics and semicon, but we're strongly pushing for the automotive sector, even aerospace.
And aerospace.
Yes.
I understand. I heard about that, ma'am, that we were manufacturing some
Parts.
components for Boeing and Airbus.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, Andrew, all the Boeings that fly, all the Airbuses that fly,
Yes.
the most sensitive parts come from Moog Controls and Baguio,
Yes.
right here in the Philippines.
Right.
And some of these even go to outer space in the NASA.
And they're made in the Philippines.
They're proudly made in the Philippines.
Ma'am, is it true that the Philippines supplies 10% of the world's requirement for semiconductors?
Oh, yes.
That is a fact.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
Let me also share with you. We have Texas Instruments,
Yes,
of course,
yes.
also in Baguio, and they
Right.
expanded with a $1.2 billion expansion
Yes.
in Clark, also under PEZA.
Yes.
But easily, 100% of most big brands, the chips, the brains of these cell phones are made in Baguio.
Are
And
made
the
in Baguio.
Baguio City.
Yes.
And the rest are maybe the other brands, not
Yes.
so known brands,
Yeah.
50 to 60% of their chips are made in Baguio. That's
Is
why,
that a fact?
according to Texas Instruments,
Yes.
their Baguio facility is the most, shall we say, productive.
Yes.
And they have been expanding there.
Yes. Owing that electronics is the lion's share, comprises the lion's share of our
Yes.
exports, is our manufacturing going up the value chain? Or
Oh,
are
yes.
we still in the assembly
It's going up the value chain.
Yes.
At the moment, today, yes, the other day, just the other night, I was talking to one of these big parts manufacturer of cars. They're planning, and it's not a plan, I think it will be a reality, to
Yes.
put their huge investment on the next level.
Yes.
They're going up the value chain
Yeah.
level, going up
Yes.
on technology.
If I recall, our value added in the electronics industry in 2011 was about 15%.
It has gone up. Some say it's 40%, some
Already
it's even
now.
higher than
Yeah,
that.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. It's no secret that 30% of our investors are
Yes.
Japanese.
Yes.
And the balance are divided among the Americans and Koreans, Taiwanese, Singaporeans. But I've talked to Secretary Domingo, and he said that in the last 2 years, he has entertained more investment missions from countries like Russia, Brazil, Turkey. Are they really coming in, ma'am?
Yes, I'll share this with you. I've been in this job 19 years. And in the past, we were not, I could sense we were not on the radar screen,
Yes.
especially Northern and Central Europe.
Right.
But yes, in the past 2 or 3 years, there was many investment missions, trade and investment missions coming from these countries. And my other barometer is this. Their ambassadors here, as well as our ambassadors in these countries,
Yes.
have been pursuing very, very insistent in inviting me to go to these places because
Right.
of the interest. They can feel the interest in the Philippines.
Yes.
And I've gone for the past 3 years, I've been going back and forth.
Yes.
Last quarter or third and fourth quarter of the year, I go to these places. And I am very inspired by the new interest that they are giving. the
It's
country.
very obvious, ma'am. When
Obvious.
you're there, you really feel it that they're
Yes.
keen on the
Yes.
Philippines this time around.
Yes, very much so. And in fact, this year I'm going again, maybe
Yes.
fourth quarter.
Yes,
I am
yes.
again scheduled to go
Yeah.
there.
Among our new investment partners, of course, we're very established with the Japanese and the Koreans. Who are we attracting now?
Well, in Europe, we are attracting, of course, the usual
Germans.
UK
Yeah.
Germans. The Germans are
Yes.
coming in strong, hopefully in car parts and electronics,
Yes, yes.
and also even Norway, Finland, the Scandinavian countries.
Yes.
They're coming. Most of these countries. Yes.
Ma'am, last year, PEZA was able to attract 6.2 billion worth of investments. But
Yes.
if you look at our net foreign direct investments as a country,
Yes.
it was shy of 4 billion. So does this mean that a lot of our investments are locally derived?
Not really. Andrew, there's this thing. I just don't want to, because it's a conflicting thing between government agencies.
Yes.
But I insist by my numbers that they said that, we only generated, there
4
was
billion.
1 year, 4 billion.
3.8 to be exact.
3.8 billion.
Yeah.
But that is already what we generated. And BOI and other investment promoting agencies also have their own.
Yes.
I think it's a matter of recording or reporting, because central bank, I think, has its own
Methodology. Yes.
But me, I'm not. I'm simply counting this came from other countries, so I'm reporting this as investments,
Yeah.
foreign direct investments.
And ma'am, when you report, it's fresh funds coming from abroad.
it is fresh and
Yes.
okay. Some people say
Kasi some it's reinvestment.
yes.
Which is
Some say, but these are promised, or these are
Yes.
planned, or these are approved, but
Right.
not yet in.
Yes.
Okay, that's a very valid observation. But historically in PEZA, our percentage of success
Yes.
is 98%.
So when they pledge,
They pledge
98% of the
98%
time,
of that would
it
come
pushes
in.
through. Yes.
Maybe they don't come. Maybe some of them are late.
Right.
But we give them a chance.
Yes.
They will say, they'll write me a letter, Director General, for one reason or the other.
We have to
This
delay our
pledge
plans.
investment is coming in late because our materials or whatever,
Yes.
they come in. Yes.
There's more updates and more trends on investments and exports with our special guest here, DG De Lima of PEZA. When we come back, stay with us. So friends, we're back and we're having a nice chat here with DG De Lima of PEZA. PEZA is one of the most aggressive job generators, ma'am.
Yes.
I understand last year we were able to, or you were able to generate 1.05. That's 1,050,000 jobs.
It's actually as of today, as of May,
Yes.
because we're 1 month late.
Yes.
As of May, exactly, we have generated this is cumulative, by
Yes.
the way, 1,076,999. If I want to simplify it, 1,077,000.
1,007,000 in just
Yes.
5 months. Cumulative.
Cumulative,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But please note that these are direct investments only by the companies that we register as getting the
PEZA,
incentives.
yeah.
Yes.
So these are direct hires.
These are direct hires,
Yes.
direct jobs.
Direct
but
jobs.
This doesn't include if we have hotels in the zones or we have
Yes.
restaurants. That
Oh,
doesn't include.
Not including
That's
the indirect.
That's not
Yes,
included.
yes, yes.
Only those that get incentives from us that we count. And in the electronic sector, Andrew, they say that for every one job you generate in the electronic sector,
Yes.
you generate another 7 indirect jobs for a multiplier of 8.
Yeah.
Just multiplying this by 5,
So we're talking about almost 6 million jobs.
yes, almost 6 million jobs.
Yes, yes.
And I'll go further. In the Philippines, they say a wage earner supports a family of 6.
Yes.
Just multiply that by 5. So
Yeah.
easily some 25 million lives of Filipinos have been
Are-
positively affected.
I noticed that PEZA has a very strict code of conduct. It's very professional.
Yes.
And the feeling of pride and dignity among the peasants, as you call them.
Yes.
How was this developed over the years, ma'am?
Well, first of all, I have to inculcate in them that
Yes.
we are at par or even better with our other Asian
Yes.
neighbors. And I also, very important for me that I walk my talk. If I ask from them to do this, I must also practice what
Yes.
I'm asking of my people.
Absolutely.
And so it has built through the years, this one. In fact, I want to add for this year, I'm having a contest in my office for what is that, we have 4 already. The 5th, what is that 5th thing? And I want something on environment.
On
That
the environment. Okay.
We already practicing
Yeah.
it, but I want to
What are
put
the
that-
first 4, ma'am?
One-stop shop,
One-stop shop.
non-stop shop,
Okay.
no red tape on the red carpet
Yeah.
treatment to investors, and no corruption.
And no corruption.
And then environment, but I want a catchy word for environment because I think all earthlings now should be concerned about the environment.
About our carbon footprint, no?
Carbon footprint
Yes.
and waste, etc. The whole gamut of
Yeah.
environment conservation. So I want to put that as our 5th
The fifth
brand.
dimension.
5th dimension.
The fifth dimension.
Yes.
Ma'am, when you inherited the agency in 1994, there were only 4 export processing zones
There were 4 government-owned
Yeah.
and 12 private industrial
and,
estates.
and 12 private.
16.
But 16.
economic
But
zones.
now, ma'am, there are 306.
Yes, 306.
How were you able to expand to 306? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Very simple. And
Yes.
from day one, when I saw this status, the state of the government-owned zone,
Yes.
economic zones, and the state of the private sector economic zones, big difference. So I said, why should we continue developing economic zones, PEZA
Right.
or EPSA
Yes.
or government, when the private sector can do it better at less costs?
At less cost.
We have
and operate it just as efficiently.
very
Yes.
efficiently.
Yes.
No cost to the government. The development, operation, and management.
Yes.
We don't have any problems.
Yes.
We just run the incentives, which is what government's role should be.
As should be, as it
So,
should be.
yes.
Yes. So we have 306 now, ma'am. 306.
Yes, 306
Are there
economics.
others in the pipeline that are
Oh,
scheduled
yes,
to open?
yes, even as we talk now, there's always this question: are we not running out of areas? Never.
Never.
Because even as we talk now for manufacturing, we have this PHILEA, Philippine Ecozones Association.
Yes.
And many of them are expanding, especially for manufacturing.
Yes.
Many of them are expanding or developing new areas, so we'll not run out of areas
Yes.
for manufacturing. And as you know, there's so many IT parks and IT centers.
Right.
So we also will not run out of these
Yes.
areas.
Ma'am, to what do you attribute the renewed interest of investors in the Philippines today?
So many factors. One of them is it pays that we have all these rating agencies
Yes.
giving us investment grade level.
Right.
Not just Fitch, Moody's, Standard & Poor's,
Yes.
but also Japan's R&I
Yes.
and Korea's NICE
Have given us the investment
have
grade
given us
rating,
investment
which,
grade level.
well, for the benefit of our viewers, is a seal of good housekeeping, certifying that the country's finances are
Yes.
stable and run well.
Yes.
Yes.
And then also, it also pays that last year, first quarter especially last year, we
Yes.
had the highest growth, higher even than China,
Yes.
by 0.01%.
Yes. That was
So-
when we grew by 7.4.
And except that we were not able to sustain that, so we
Right.
ended number 2 next to
Yes.
China because of the typhoon Yolanda.
Because of Yolanda.
Yes,
Correct.
because of
correct.
Yolanda.
Yeah.
So it pays all these factors, plus our number one competitive edge
Yes.
is our Filipino workers. They're among the best in the world, and especially in manufacturing, even IT, all these sectors.
Yes.
I ask them, they're here, they keep on expanding because of they're very happy with our workforce.
Yes.
They are intelligent, English speaking, and very good working habits.
Well, one of the setbacks in our economic landscape today is the truck ban that had happened in the city of Manila.
Yes, thankfully the city of Manila has agreed already to open up the streets
Yes, one lane, just one
lane.
Yes.
24 hours.
Yes.
And however, there's already port congestion,
Yes.
and ships are also delayed when you cannot bring out your raw materials.
Yes.
What will you manufacture? So if there's no raw materials to manufacture,
Right.
you have to tell your people, hey guys, maybe there should be some
Yes.
how do you
It's
call it?
work stoppage.
Yeah, work
For
stoppage.
all intents and purposes,
Yes, yes.
work stoppage yan.
Also, if your machinery and equipment, you are
Yes.
upgrading or you're starting your facility,
Right.
you cannot bring out your facilities, your equipment.
Yes.
And you have already brought your technical people to come. Hey guys, come here. You'll install this.
Yes.
And if it cannot be brought out here, you're paying for their hotels,
Yes.
paying for their
Right.
upkeep here.
So there's cost. There's cost to the delays.
Also,
Yes.
if you have export orders abroad, you normally ship by sea,
Yes.
but that you cannot bring it out by sea. You are forced to send by air, which is 10, 15 times more expensive.
Correct.
Most of these companies would rather lose
Then
than
default on the deadline.
than lose their buyers.
Yes. So you know the pressure points.
We know the pressure points,
Right.
and we are working
Yes.
on each and every
Yeah.
pressure
Ma'am, could the
point.
solution be using Batangas as the main?
Yes, I've always
main port.
been
Yeah.
advocating for the usage of Batangas Port.
Yes.
And already
Which is underutilized, by the way.
underutilized, and Subic Port, which is practically not utilized.
Yeah.
Well, in PEZA, we've done a share. We called individually.
Yes.
We asked for the list. Hey, why do you
Yes.
have 10 containers there? Bring
Yes.
it out, bring
Yes,
it out.
yes.
So we're doing that now.
So, ma'am, are you optimistic that this problem can be resolved within the year?
Yes,
Yeah.
within the next
Yeah.
couple of weeks, it has
Yeah.
to be resolved.
Ma'am, do you find the city of Manila cooperative?
Well, Secretary Albendra's is the point person talking to Mayor Erap, Mayor
Erap
Estrada.
Estrada,
And
yeah.
I think to his credit and to their credit, the city government, I think, was adamant before, but
Yes.
they have agreed to ease and give a one lane 24 hours.
Yes.
So that's very
But
important.
clearly, ma'am, the solution is beyond access to the streets. The solution is decongesting the ports
Decongesting
and
the ports
diversifying. Yes, diversifying
Yes.
the traffic,
and
to other ports.
operationalizing the two port operators in Manila that operates also.
Yes.
Batangas and Subic must push.
Must push more
For
traffic
these two
outside.
others.
Yes, friends, we are very fortunate because we will have Director General De Lima again next week for another discussion. This time about the competitiveness of the Philippine investment climate relative to the rest of Asia. So, ma'am, thank you for this episode.
Thank you, Andrew.
It was
Thank you for this
such a pleasure.
opportunity to share with you the many exciting things happening
So
in
many
our
exciting
economic
things.
zones. Yes.
Friends, we'll catch you later. PEZA, under Director General De Lima, is a huge success story. It just goes to show that no matter how unwieldy a bureaucratic organization is, no matter how much it lacks in funds, or how far behind it is from its counterparts in the region, it can still be made into a lean, mean, cash-generating machine if only the proper reforms are put into place and implemented with consistency over time. PEZA can be made a metaphor for the entire nation. President Aquino has started us on a path of reforms that has so far made us one of the best performing economies in Asia. I reckon that for as long as we continue to follow the tenets of good governance, there will be no limit to what we can achieve as a country. Think tanks from around the world, including HSBC, Euromoney, and Citibank, have already said that the Philippines has the potential to become the 15th largest economy in the world by the year 2030. People from the outside see it, and so must we. As citizens, we must protect and preserve our economic gains with everything we've got. We must remain vigilant not to regress the era where corruption reigned and where government inefficiency was accepted as a norm. We have come a long way indeed. Now it is up to us to preserve our economic gains. And so, we must demand that government officials deliver nothing less than honest, transparent, and efficient public service, regardless of whoever sits as president beyond 2016. Only then will the country live up to its true potentials. That's all we have time for today. I hope you found our show as entertaining as it was informative. Join us again next week as I talk more about the issues that affect us all with the country's movers and shakers. Meanwhile, you can follow my business updates throughout the week through my social media accounts. Follow me on Twitter. Add me as AJ_Masigan. Or on Facebook, simply search for Andrew J. Masigan. Or send me an email at Andrew_RS6 Romeo Sierra 6 @yahoo.com. Here's wishing you a productive week ahead. Good evening.